Welcome to TSI April 2020 staff meeting. Our agenda includes a review of NC STAR indicators A2.04 and A4.01, an examination of related high leverage practices and their implications. We will also discuss what we can expect from the EC department in upcoming months and into 2020-21 school year. Alignment with NC STAR and Big Bets. You will remember this slide from our previous meetings. Take a few minutes to review the green band. Our focus today is NC indicators A2.04, improving quality of specially designed instruction, and A4.01, improving the access to and engagement in general education core instruction for students with disabilities. At Oakdale, we are working together to improve outcomes for our students with disabilities, and we know that this TSI work is not different work or a different plan. It aligns directly with our Oakdale School Improvement Plan. High leverage practices in special education allows us to fulfill our goal of providing effective learning and teaching strategies that will engage our students. This slide shows an alignment between practices identified in visual learning by John Hattie and the high leverage practices in special education. In the next slide, we will examine the research basis of visual learning along with an observational tool for instructional supports and systems, also referred to as OTISS, and high leverage practices, HLPs, aligned to this tool. The OTISS tool was developed by the National Implementation Research Network, and it identifies 7 evidence-based practices that are aligned to student achievement. This tool can be used for 10-minute walkthroughs and is not time event related. It can be completed by any grade level in any subject. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools EC department is using this tool to help determine what additional district supports are needed in order to support teachers with evidence-based practices. This slide shows how high leverage practices that supported by research can correlate with positive student outcomes. You are familiar with many of these practices, and we are implementing them in our Oakdale classrooms already. However, the point here is that these usually benefit students with disabilities who are enrolled in your classrooms. By intentionally and consistently using these practices during your instruction, you are helping students to master content. The use of consistent, step by step, explicit instruction with teacher modeling greatly benefits students with disabilities, especially when they are learning new material and complex concepts and skills. These two documents shown here are great resources that examine explicit instruction and high leverage practices. You may already be familiar with the one on the right. You can download these for free. I have included them on your April TSI Google document that was provided in your email. Learning involves not only understanding the content, but also using cognitive processes to solve problems, regulate attention, organize thoughts and materials, and monitor one's own thinking. Self-regulation and metacognitive strategies are integrated into lessons on academic content through modeling and explicit instruction. Students learn to monitor and evaluate their performance in regulation to explicit goals and make necessary adjustments to improve their learning. These are a few examples of metacognitive strategies. Do either of these look familiar? When feedback is goal-directed and delivered strategically, it is more effective because it provides specific information to the learner. Teachers should provide ongoing feedback until learners reach their established learning goals. Positive and constructive feedback. Feedback may be verbal, nonverbal, or written, and should be timely, contingent, genuine, meaningful, age appropriate, and at rates commensurate with the task and phase of the learning process, which includes acquisition, fluency, and maintenance. Think about how you provide positive and constructive feedback to students with disabilities. Are you intentional at each phase? What is one way in which you can implement this for a student during your next lesson? Your lesson may be a virtual lesson due to our coronavirus school closing period. However, I would like you to think seriously about how you could implement positive feedback to a student with disabilities even during your online virtual lesson. Take a few moments to write this down in your notes. Academic engagement is critical to academic success. Teachers must build positive student relationships to foster engagement and motivate reluctant students. Teachers can promote engagement by connecting learning to students' lives and their cultural backgrounds. Also by using a variety of strategies to support learning, such as teacher-led, peer-assisted, student-regulated, and technology-supported strategies to increase student engagement. They should monitor student engagement and provide positive and constructive feedback to sustain performance. Here is a video that provides examples of strategies to promote active engagement. Find a link to this video in the resource section of our April TSI Google document. Moving forward. As we move into fourth quarter, let's reflect on what we have accomplished this school year regarding ourselves and our students. Has our mindset changed or started changing? Have we experienced a growth in our mindset? Forward Together was introduced last August during our district's TSI district kickoff. It is a publication written to assist educators in teaching students who learn differently. A link to this two-page summary can be found in our April TSI Google document. Forward Together is a report published in May 2019 by the National Center for Learning Disabilities and Understood.org. The report was created to help educators to unlock the power of students who learn differently. This report indicates that in the United States, 1 in 5 students have learning and attention issues. Despite this, a majority of these students have average or above average intelligence. However, a majority of these students are also achieving below grade level. A link to this full document will be included in our April TSI Google document. I want you to stop for a moment and think about these Forward Together key questions. Let's apply these questions to our goals and our efforts in supporting our students with disabilities at Oakdale. Who are the 1 in 5? And what is their experience in the classroom? What do general education teachers know and believe about teaching the 1 in 5? What do general education teachers need to know and believe about teaching the 1 in 5? How can teachers build the effective mindsets, knowledge, and skills to positively impact the 1 in 5? take a look at each of these quotes and select one that resonates with you. Then go to the next slide to find out how you can share your thoughts with your Oakdale colleagues. What resonates with you? Find the link below in the Oakdale April TSI Google document and add your thoughts to the chart provided under the column titled What Resonates with You. Be sure to include your name and title, since this chart will also be designated as our Oakdale sign-in sheet. In the Forward Together article, there were 3 critical mindsets which emerged. The first is a strong sense of self-efficacy. As educators, the first step is to believe in oneself and one's teaching ability to reach all students, provide a positive environment, and to not let student learning expectations be influenced by non-academic factors. We as teachers have the view that all students can learn and can learn in multiple ways. Sometimes we measure success differently. Look at the picture on the right. It has a lot of twists and turns. This is how success really looks. Does this pathway resonate with you? Why is a growth mindset important, and what does it look like? A growth mindset goes beyond belief about intelligence. A growth mindset also looks at how persistence, hard work, self-regulation, and effort relate to learning and other outcomes. Now, take a few moments to reflect on how our school addresses our 1 in 5. Share one example from our school. Locate the link below in the April TSI Google document again and enter your example in the column titled How We Address the 1 in 5. Here is a hint. In US, 1 in 5 students have learning and attention issues. How do we address the 1 in 5? What can we expect from the EC department in coming months? In the upcoming months, you can expect data collection by ICTs or itinerant coordinating teachers and the exceptional children department staff in order to determine the impact of training and supports that are and have been provided. You can also expect coaching and support with the implementation of programs and practices learned during specially designed instructional institutes. Thank you for your participation in today's professional development.